I don't know how well you guys can see this, but these are hitchhikers or foxtails. So the rest of this pasture started out like this, or like that. Very spotty, very brown, sometimes 3 inches between each blade of grass. The way that I overcame that was to come out and plant clover and alfalfa in my grass, and I didn't ever spray. We have what's called, darn it, no, I can't think of what it's called. Anyway, we have a really noxious weed out here that is, it has like a latex in it that is, it actually burns animals' lips. And we had it all along this bank. And our neighbor has it all along the side of his pasture, and he sprays. What I did was I came out and I would cut it down occasionally, but mostly just what I did was let other plants encroach on it. So this is full of weeds, foxtails, and all that kind of thing. The reason being is that this is not topsoil. This is what's below topsoil, because we came in and took out a lot of this dirt to use as the berm around the septic tank. And so this area had to start over from scratch. And so the primary plants to come up are always noxious weeds, because they can stand to live somewhere there's no nutrition and there's not enough water. So right now I have all sorts of nasties coming up. I have mallow and all sorts of prickly plants. But all of this pasture used to be that there that's so lush and beautiful, all used to be just like this. And all it needed was 2 or 3 years for those primary plants to prepare the soil and die and leave the soil better than they found it, so that other plants like alfalfa and grass and clover could come in and be good pasture. So that's what I'm doing out there. I went out and took all the grass that's so incredibly spotty. See, that over there across the ditch is like this, only worse. And so I went over and took all the long grass that was going to seed, and I cut it down so that it can mulch and shade the grass that's coming up. I have a little bit of alfalfa that's finally coming up over there, which is really exciting, but what I really, really need to have coming up is clover. Clover is what makes for healthy grass. I don't know why there's the difference, but when I just had alfalfa out here with the grass, it was still really spotty. When the clover started to come up, then I would go out and the clover would look like it was taken over. So I'd come out with my scythe, my trusty scythe, and cut down the clover. And then all of a sudden, bang, the grass just started coming up like crazy. That's Bullet. He is a registered alpine buck that's worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and we got him for nothing. He's from a really good herd. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Anyway, so I went outside with that. And now what will be able to come up is younger, newer, better grass. Now that it will have a little bit of shade from that mulch that we got from cutting the grass down. And eventually all of that, which you can't really tell from here, that is not good pasture. It is very stiff grass and very spotty grass, but you can't really tell that from this. How interesting. This looks lush, and it is lush. Let's see if I can walk across, if I can not fall in the ditch, and show you what this grass looks like. See that? Not good. I have little tiny patches of clover coming up, but you can see that you've got 2 and 3 inches between blades of grass in this dirt, which is better than it used to be. It used to be that this was completely bare and only moss, some really weird orange moss, would grow. So it's getting better. But I mean, you can see how that is. And this actually gets more water. Water is not the key here. This spot gets more water than that does. Let's see if I can fall in. And then you come over here and we'll see if I can get really, really wet. And I'll show you. This up here on the hill is part of what was taken out too. So this is also not good dirt. Not yet. You come over here to this. And this isn't even as nice as how it is over there. Over there, it's just really nice. Isn't the color pretty tonight? Wow, maybe this camera isn't as bad as I thought. As long as there's not bright light. And that is our sagebrush patch. I really love sagebrush, and so we're not going to pull it out. We're going to have its own rocky little habitat over here. I'm really, really, really hoping that all the irrigation water doesn't kill it. Because it gets really deep there. And Godey's out here enjoying being out of his pen. The lambs are out here picking on Athena again. And so I'm going to try and find a way to keep the sheep from... Part of that was taking Godey out of his pen and putting him out here so I can use the cow panels that he was in. And there's our hammock and our neighbors. Isn't this pretty? I got the cow panels up around the trees that the goats were killing. I still have one more spot up here that needs to be done. What we need to do is have the girls come out and have a search for string. I think I just saw our first mosquito of the year. Which is interesting because this week we had temperatures down in the mid-50s during the day and in the 30s at night. So it's actually been real nice because we haven't had any biting insects, but I really do think I just saw my first mosquito. Today was up in the high 80s. So if you guys don't want to watch the rest of this, go ahead and don't watch it, because I'm kind of taking this one for posterity. Some of the videos I took when my kids were younger were so stinking short that, or they weren't of anything applicable that we would care about later. Like, I don't think we have hardly any videos of our old house. So I'm just kind of enjoying looking around and seeing how pretty it is when it's not so frickin' hot. See, girls, this is what we did when you were little. And the girls are in the house playing with Slotto. Have you ever heard of Slotto? It's a really fun, kind of like Legos, but it's with wood. And the pieces are much different from each other, so you can make lots of really, really neat things. The girls love it, so they're in the house playing Slotto. And Cloud is still, apparently, I think she's at least a week away from kidding. Just driving me crazy. I can't have her out because Jumper will probably ram her in the belly. Just as a hello introduction. Hello, we've missed you. And she could lose the baby. So she has to be in there by herself, away from Jumper and the violent lambs. Oh my.